The Walking Dead is finally back. I'm Terry Schwartz, this is Laura Prudhomme, and we are talking full spoilers for the season 9 premiere. So if you haven't seen the episode already, get out of here, come back when you have. We don't want to spoil it for you because we're setting up a big season ahead. This is Andrew Lincoln's last season on The Walking Dead, as has been publicized. So he is soon going to be saying goodbye to Rick Grimes. And this premiere episode totally set up how the path is being laid for Rick to be leaving the show. So Laura, what did you think about that?
I loved it. I think that it's very interesting that they're kind of setting the scene with, look how capable all of these people are. Like, obviously no one wants to lose Rick, and obviously no one's tipping to that in the show yet, but because you have Maggie stepping up and being a leader, even taking the step of killing Gregory, which is a very big deal, even kind of talking to Rick and laying down the law and being like, you guys said you would follow me and you're not doing that. So I think that that's a really good opening for her. Michonne obviously is talking about starting this new, not a constitution, I can't remember what she called it, a charter.
Yes.
That was it, kind of laying out what a democracy could look like in this new world that they're building. And even Daryl kind of taking a step to, you know, stand up to Rick and be like, I don't love what's happening, I don't want to be this kind of leader. It just seems like everyone's kind of coming into their own now without Rick.
Then the flip side against people straining against his leadership is the sense we get as the viewer that maybe everything will be fine after Rick leaves. And I think especially with Michonne sort of finding, like, getting this set of tools essentially and this blueprint for how a society could continue on, it's like we might be losing the face of the show, like for all intents and purposes, the main character of The Walking Dead, but there is a path forward for everyone. I think that it's interesting that this episode ended on Maggie killing Gregory and sort of like, obviously there are the rumors or reports out there that this might be Lauren Cohen's last season as The Walking Dead, as well as Maggie. But I think it's really interesting to sort of see this duality of her taking over in this sort of leadership role and exerting this sort of, I don't know, not martial law, but like laying down the law in that way.
Exactly. I think that it's great that you kind of see that she still takes it all really seriously. She's a leader who, when she loses a guy, you know, out on a run, she cries, she mourns him, but she's also willing to do, you know, make the hard choices and do what needs to be done, even if it maybe scares some of her constituents. I think that's what we can call them, since they voted her in to be the leader. And Gregory's had so many choices over the past couple of seasons that it's like, enough's enough now, guys. Like, let her just get rid of him.
What do you think, like, knowing that this season, and I think the first half of this season as well, we aren't even getting into the back half, so the first half of this season is sort of setting up that we're going to be losing Rick. What did you think about sort of Andrew Lincoln's performance in this episode and what he brought to the table?
Oh, God, he's so great.
I'm going to miss him so much.
I just, like, this photo just breaks my heart because it's so wonderful to see, like, Michonne and Rick get that lovely moment in bed where they're kind of talking about their day and like getting to be intimate and kind of laugh together, and you see the intimacy that they have, which is so sweet. And they haven't really had a chance to do that the entire, you know, past 2 or 3 seasons, because it's been like Negan and Saviors and Carl dying, everything's miserable. So it's really nice. I know we're picking up like 2 years-ish later from, you know, last season, but it's really nice to see the rhythm that they've gotten into and the fact that they get to hang out with little Judith and like be
not even little
family.
Judith anymore though.
Slightly bigger Judith, and get to be a family and how that looks like. And I think that that's a smart choice, because then, you know, when it inevitably does come, when Rick leaves, no matter what the circumstances are, you really feel that loss. You're gonna feel what Michonne feels. You're gonna feel the void that he leaves.
I just like, bums me out. There's been so much loss on this show, like talking about Glenn to Carl to all these things, that seeing this, it does make me sad. I'm like, do we have to lose him? But I think you're right. I think that's the right sort of setup and runway to whatever ends up happening that we know. And again, I think most people at this point know it's pretty publicized about this half of the season that
they're like advertising it. AMC is advertising it as Rick Grimes' final episode, so they're leaning into it.
They know that it's going to get more people watching.
Understandably so.
But though we're going to be losing one of the stalwart parts of The Walking Dead, we've gained something new. Angela Kang is the new showrunner this season. She has worked on The Walking Dead for a while, but this is her first season.
Yeah, she's been a writer on the show since season 2, so she's kind of been with it and written a lot of amazing episodes along the way. But yeah, this is definitely a different tone for the show. It's kind of similar in that it's a bit of a slow burn episode. You kind of, things get to unfold. You have the moments of like horror and like the creepy spider zombie face thing.
Oh no, I actively forgot that. I just keep thinking
I'm
about
just traumatized you all over.
but the Natural History Museum
Yeah.
scene was so cool. I really loved that and how they were like finding those resources. But
Yeah.
then you of course have that impending dread and that amazing like Greg Nicotero special effects of like
Exactly.
all the zombies.
So you
underneath
know
it.
that the show is still going to hit those beats and be scary and gross and all the things that we love from it, but you are also seeing characters talking, like just having conversations, talking about their emotions, talking about, you know, what the world could look like, negotiating rather than kind of, you know, muttering one or two lines very
Monologuing.
cryptic. Yes,
Yeah.
or the monologuing. Speaking of monologuing, no Negan in this episode.
Did you miss him or did you?
I didn't even notice. Honestly.
I didn't notice he was gone either, which is interesting. I think it's like the right way to sort of reset the season and come back in and remind you of like, these are the protagonists in this story.
Yes, these are the people who are going to grow. And obviously Negan also has a big part to play from what we've heard kind of in the publicity and what the showrunner said and what Jeffrey Dean Morgan has said. Like, he's not going anywhere, he's still going to be a fixture, but it is nice to refocus on the people that we've been hanging out with for 7-8 years now and love that way.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm intrigued to see what happens in the next few episodes leading up to sort of Rick's departure, but I personally thought that this was a good step in the right direction to sort of like bringing some new energy into The Walking Dead and a little bit of a new tone.
Yeah.
But we have plenty more The Walking Dead content. If you want some more on sort of Rick Grimes' departure, we talked to the cast of The Walking Dead and asked them how they would say goodbye to Andrew Lincoln. You definitely want to check it out. And of course, we want you to tune back in every week. Sunday night, we'll be breaking down all the new episodes of The Walking Dead, and you won't want to miss it. For all things The Walking Dead, keep it here on IGN.